Hey, welcome to. Let me put more music today. Welcome to Club Shada episode 153. I think. Yeah, must be that. I'm not even sure. Wait, let me check. Yeah. Welcome to Club Shada episode 153. Listen, we didn't even do something special for 150 because I was traveling. I was in Dakar, so I guess I'll do something special for one of these episodes between 154 and 100 and 200. But it's amazing. Like I might sound repetitive, but every episode that I do is a milestone. Every episode is something new, and every episode is the achievement of something. It's another step towards making this a real business, making money and mind thought-provoking business. And I spent so many years being frustrated at talking straight to the people that I thought would be the people who would be able to understand what I said and make a change, put that dent into the universe. And I realized that the best way to do it is to not only do it yourself, but also talk directly to the people who can change the world, which is you guys. People who understand what is said, understand the depth and the reach of the commentary, the deep thinking, and whoever is watching this and can be like, yeah, I'm gonna do something today. And it is my privilege to be able to inspire you guys watching. So I'm expressing my gratitude, and I will keep expressing it because I spent so many years talking, like we say in French, pisser dans des violons. I was just peeing in the wind, thinking I was talking to people who had the ability to change something because they were powerful, but they were actually people with very, very, very much money, but very, very, very narrow minds and lack of vision. And ever since I started doing Club Shada, and that my voice is slowly becoming way more relevant, people are not telling me that, yeah, you should do conferences, you should go talk here, talk there, talk to this. And I'm like, I got my venue. It's here. And the day I do a conference, that conference might be called Club Shada. Simple as that. But I need something to. Where is this thing? Of course, I forget this. Anyway, let's forget it. So yeah, for this you have my gratitude. This show is brought to you by Shada, where you can get beautiful caps like those ones and the gods of good fortune. Gratitude to all the new subscribers to this channel. Maria, Gael, Shaza Estilista, Soul the One, for you. Amos, Nuchis, Jose Santos, etc. Welcome to the club. Welcome to Shada Gang, and make yourself at home, but don't forget to remove your shoes. We bite. That's all you need to know. We bite. We had amazing shows. Last week with Aida Sok. It was a very intimate show. I really didn't think we would go that long, but it was an amazing conversation with a dear friend. It's really like a little sister to me, and it was yeah. I mean, I was today. I did all the clips of this, and I invite you whenever you can to go to the channel and go comment on the clips and support and leave a like, and also leave a like here, of course. Yeah, listen. It was also a great privilege and an amazing conversation that I had with Mark Heaven, who's a data analyst for. Hey, thank you so much, Sirène des Îles, for the super chat. Thank you for supporting the Club Shada, and you just replaced Ralphie Lopez by becoming again for the third consecutive month our stream royalty with $25. So thank you so much. And what I was saying, yeah, Mark Heaven, great insight into what a data analyst does for record companies. So it was really a great conversation as well. I really enjoyed it. Yeah, thanks to all the sponsors. Thanks to our stream royalty. Don't forget to support the show whenever you can. $1, $5, $10. Every brick counts into building the future. Master Electronic, what up? How are you? I hope you're good. Happy to have you here. The sexiest man alive in Sweden. Or sexiest Congolese or man? I mean, hey. Take the titles. Mountain of Inspiration. Hello, dear cousin. Welcome back to the world of live streaming. I see that this morning or yesterday you've went back to live streaming. As soon as I finish this live, I'm gonna watch your live stream. I watched a little bit this morning, but then it's Sunday, so Sunday is family day. Yeah, listen, I can't imagine how it is to just coming back from Kinshasa after 10 years to bury your mother and then go back at it. Can't wait to see that episode and get your insights and your and get your feelings into going back to the world of live streaming. And it's interesting to see it's interesting to me to see the evolution of your channel, because you went from in that latest iteration of your channel, you went from daily 8 minutes content to daily 20 to 50 minutes live stream, and that's great. Like in the world of live streamers, there's something called Veda. Is it Veda? I think you have Veda and you also have Vlogmas. So there's one which Vlogmas is you do a vlog every day in December until Christmas or until the end of December. You have to upload a vlog every day. And then you have another one, I think it's Veda. I'm not sure what's the name of it, but it's Lida. I'm not sure, but it's live every day of, I'm not sure if I got the right word, but it's thing where like you decide to go live every day, and all the live streamers and the eCam community, the people who use this program, we all post our live links in the Facebook group, and then everybody come see, and everybody's just live every day, which is Listen, Club Shada is is already a big time, but I'm thinking about it. I might, maybe not the whole month of December, but I think I will try to do maybe instead of 2 hours, I might do 30 minutes every day, maybe for December. I will see. Depends of a lot of a lot of things, but I might try to have a live in earlier in the afternoon and some live at the normal hours. I'm gonna see. I'm gonna see how it is, but soon as I'm done with the album, I will have more time in my hands. So I'll see. I'll see. Hello, Juju Zam. How are you? I hope you're good. I hope your situation is getting better and better. Hey, those things takes time, but I'm just sending you positive thoughts. What it does, Charlene. How are you? I hope you're good. I love when I was watching Dalia's last show. What up, cousin Joel? How are you? I hope you're great. Yeah, I love the fact that when I was watching Dalia's last show, I was seeing a bunch of you guys. Siren Desil, thank you so much again. I was watching a lot of you guys. Hey, Dalia. I was watching a lot of you guys in the chat, and this is what I love about this idea. This is what I love about the idea of a community that we are building all together, where the listeners of all our shows are interchangeable and they go from show to show. This is really something that is one of the part that I love the most, because it is really about building a community that is strong and that can move together. Meaning that as Dalia grows, as Club Shada grows, as the Mountain of Inspiration grows, as Joel Amen channel grows, and if any one of us, everybody else is starting their own channels, it also benefits everybody, because we build a bigger community that just go from show to show, and it would just be like if we were a whole network, where at a point we will be able, by the size of our connected publics, who will be able to have advertisers and people really invest in the whole network at once. So that to me is great. So yeah, keep on coming. You know, what it do, Ellie's boys? I hope you're fine. Every day in December. When I'm thinking about it, I'm like, yo, I mean, during quarantine, it was kind of easier to just, be live every day. But after, I don't know. But hey, that might be something great to test. I really have to. Yeah, I'm thinking about it. Imagine if we all go back to back. Imagine you do like a Dalia show for 30 minutes or 45 minutes, and then at the end of her show you have Mountain of Inspiration, and then at the end of that show you have Joel Amen, and then at the end of that show you have Club Shada, and then like this every day. and maybe Malcolm Beats does some beats live, and then everybody invite themselves in everybody's show, and then like at the end of one show, everybody just gets is like, hey, let's all meet in the next show. So you have like 20 minutes to pee or have a drink or eat something, and in the next hour we have that person. That could be some very nice coordinated effort if you think about it, where you really have a program and everybody has their hours and everybody is promoting every show at once every day. Like that, like those are interesting ideas, like coordination, but still the same situation because I would say everybody here. I think thoughts is helping me a lot. Love you too. Well, listen. The thing is this. What I'm going to talk about today is actually we can relate to when we get hurdles in life, and how what we more than what frustrates us about it, what we can learn from it. But we'll get there. Listen, I was actually taking a 25-minute nap before the show because I was like, if I don't take that nap, I'm going to be suffering. So listen, sometimes I'm like, why did I choose to go live at that time? Like, why did I choose to be live so late? But I really need my house to be everybody to be sleeping when I go live, because I kind of get frustrated if I'm disconcentrated by my daughter or my wife making noise or somebody in the kitchen. Or I really like. So as long as I'm in this house, this apartment where my living room is also my live show location, and my living room is my office. I mean, I have a corner of the living room that is my office, because it used to be a place where I used to, even if I had 2 bedrooms, I used to be single. When I moved here in this house, I was single, and I had 2 rooms, one for my son when he would come, and I didn't know that I would have like a daughter, a wife, and so much movement, sister-in-law, whatever. So at that time when I moved here, it was huge. It was a huge place. To me, I was like, hey, so I'm gonna put my office here in the corner of the living room, and then I'm gonna have all this space for me to watch my TV with my sofa, etc. And like you can see, wait, you see, there you have the sofa, the TV, all that, Let me do it well. Yeah, there we go. You have to focus on my face. Yeah. And now that I'm in a different situation, and that there's never less than 3 people in this house, and when my son comes, it's 4, and almost every day my sister-in-law and her baby they come here to spend the day, and then they leave, and sometimes they sleep here. So it's always like more or less 4 people in the house. And now I really feel like, okay, I need a bigger place. I need probably another 100 meters square, and my own office. That would be my place that I can just be there and do my thing with, and maybe then I would change the time of the show. I mean, maybe not, but I might change the time of the show, maybe 2 hours earlier, to start at 10. I don't know. Or maybe I would be able to sometimes do one show at late and another one earlier for the people who are in Europe. I don't know. It's at the same time it's interesting to have. I'm always in this interesting situation where my audience is all around the world anyway. So if I go early, it's to the detriment of other people, and if I go late, it's to the detriment of some other people. So I mean, those who are here for a long time remember when Club Shada was at it was 2 p.m. 2 p.m. and it was completely other people. So it was the morning for those in Canada. Yeah. So yeah, it's very interesting. But I'm really proud that I've been able to do 153 episodes and never give up. A lot of people give up early because, especially us artists, we don't like to commit to times and twice a week, like the constraint of being there ready to do a live show. And yeah, listen, just congratulate myself for doing it, making it happen. Hey, I think I saw that comment already. In the summer is great. Sweden, if you go just before it's too cold, it's like Brussels. At a point when you have like 10 degrees, 5 degrees, 0 degrees, it's like if you're in Brussels. So there's a moment where it goes below zero. That's different. But the 2-3 times I went to Sweden was amazing. I mean, yeah, I don't know if it would help, but yeah, it would be different depending on who's watching, I've learned, I have a TV named Les Ados du 20e. We start in December. Nice. Yeah, so listen, let's go. Let's make it happen. Before we talk about today's subject and the news, there's a few news. Like I've because I did those 2 shows with guests, I couldn't really, I didn't have time to really talk about the news. Things that had so many things are happening in the world. This shit is crazy. There's 2 things I want to talk to you about. First, I want to talk to you about a new single that is actually my latest single along with Jassy and Bodhisattva, and it's called Whatever I Do. So this is a song that was supposed to be on Bodhisattva album, but because he has way too many songs with me in collaboration, I think we have 3 or 4, I don't even remember, we decided to release that one separately. So it's a song produced by Bodhisattva, and Jassy and I wrote the song and performed the song. And without any more waiting, I'm gonna have you listen to it, and then we will talk about all the things. So let's hear it. It's called Whatever I Do. If you like it, don't forget to go find it in the platforms. That actually, I should have put the link. Well, listen, I'm going to put the Spotify link here in the chat. Let's go. And if you want to listen to it in any other platforms, you know that all you have to do is type Kaysha, whatever I do, and you can hear it. So this is Whatever I Do, Kaysha Bodhisattva Jassy.
You always demanding, like whenever I'm texting, always accuse me of sexting. Mama, why you be stressing? You should be over there flexing on the memories blessing. We have a life that's amazing. Shut up now, let me kiss you now. Ease up now, I wanna lift you up.
Don't leave me waiting, I'm feeling impatient. No need for rotation, a toxic temptation. Toxic temptation.
Yeah, this was Whatever I Do with, the usual suspects, Kaysha Bodhisattva Jassy. A very nice song, and Jassy on the cover art, our beautiful model. Very cool song, and I hope you guys liked it. It was fun to make. It's one of those songs Thank you. Don't forget to go on YouTube and go comment on the video if you didn't already. Thank you, Sirène des Îles. Thank you, Julie. Thank you, Ellis Boys. Thank you, Charlene. What's good, Malcolm Beats? Are you done with the remix? I have to upload everything tomorrow. I'm lazy tonight. Yay. So yeah, listen. A very nice song. A very, very nice song. Thank you. And it's a song with a very interesting story because it was not supposed to be Jassy and I. It was supposed to be me with somebody else, but that person was not ready. It was taking time, and then he was supposed to be on Body's album, and then he was just like, "Oh, do you want to keep it?" I was like, "Yep, let's go." And yeah, so I maybe we'll make it to this album because next week I'm closing the album completely. Everything that is not ready is going to the next album. So I will see if this song goes in this album or the next one. But yeah, I'm fairly happy with this song. Now let's get on to. Oh, I have to test something. You know, I don't know if you heard about what happened in the. I don't know if you heard. Let me find a good place with something in Portuguese. Come on. Let me see. Damn. I don't know if you heard about what happened in Houston with the Travis Scott concert. I wanted to give my opinion on that as a performer. So I have to test the new feature of, but not now. Anyway, so Travis Scott made a concert, and in his show, you know, he's what we call a rager. I didn't know about that word. Rager is those, you know, people that when they do show, they go rock and roll. They go like crazy. They like people to jump in the crowd and do pogo. And apparently they had 50,000 people in the crowd, and the crowd went so crazy and they were so crammed on each other that actually 8 people died, which is horrible because imagine as a parent, you buy a ticket to your kid to go see a show from a star they love, and they just die from a heart attack or from suffocating in the middle of a crowd of people that are going crazy. And of course, a lot of people are blaming him for being somebody that incite the people to go kind of riotish during the show and have fun and go crazy, jump in the crowd, you know, very rock and rollish. And I mean, there's a lot of energies in those shows, you know, and when there's too much people crammed onto each other, if something happens in the middle of the crowd, the artist cannot really realize what's going on or realize the severity of what goes on. And now everybody is pointing fingers and telling him that it's because he tends to have this energy when he does shows, and when he tells people to go crazy and to jump and to rage, and yeah, it's tragic. It's very tragic. I can't imagine the sadness of the parents. Like when you have kids. When you have kids, you actually are scared your whole life, because when they're babies, they are vulnerable. When they in their teens, they're vulnerable from all type of crazy people. And when they become independent, they can go to a concert or meet all the crazy people in the world, or take risks themselves. And I've been in shows with lots of people in the crowd, but I've never been a crowd guy. So me, when there's a big show, even up to, I remember going to Arrested Development back in 92, I was not in the front. I tend to always try to be either on the side or sitting somewhere, unless there's a VIP where there's not a lot of people. I try not to be in the middle of the action, I guess, where everybody's crammed and the music is loud, etc. I prefer always being on the side. And but I want to see this from the point of view of a performer. I don't know if you remember this show that I did in Cape Verde. It was the Strela Festival. It was in so it was in Cape Verde. Let me see. And it's very interesting because it kind of reminds me of that, So
I'm ready. What's up?
I had that crowd of 60,000 people, right? And I was performing. And at a point during the show, so let me find it. Let me find it. There's a moment where here. You see, there's a moment here where I'm performing, and look at the kid here, right? Look at the two kids here. And at a point, the whole barrier of security collapsed. But look at those two kids. Look. So, you see? So look, I'm here. I'm even more excited, and everybody's excited. And then police comes, and they cut they finish they finish the show, right? So while we were performing on that day, so the kids, as you can see, the kids, they just moved soon as, you see, they felt the pressure and they moved, right? And while I was performing, to me, it was the best show of my life. It was amazing, right? I was super happy. Oh my God, we killed it, etc. We performed around 2 or 4 p.m. I don't remember. But then we passed on the news. And when we passed on the news, some TV stations were saying, oh, this was crazy, etc., etc. But then they start talking about people being injured. And they start talking about broken legs, about bruises. And then I remember seeing that video when I was looking at my images from the hotel. And when I saw the two kids, I didn't realize that they had the reflex of pulling out before everything collapsed. So the first time I saw the image, I didn't see them running. I just imagined that they were under the crowd. And listen, I got horrified. And I asked to go to the hospital to see the people. And then I met the mayor of Praia, Cape Verde. And the first thing I asked him, because he was super happy about the whole thing, but the first thing I asked him was, is everybody okay? And he told me, oh no, everybody's fine. Somebody, because I was like, oh, I heard somebody broke their legs. They were like, no. Most people had some bruises. The people that were in front, some people that fell, contusions and stuff, but nothing major. So no kids were injured, no, etc. But for a good 1 hour before meeting officials, I got super scared because you cannot imagine how it feels when all you do, and I'm not here to defend Travis Scott. I'm not here to blame him. I'm just here to give you the point of view of a performer. When you are a performer, what is the most important for you is the show, is the performance. And where you are, when you are in the trance of performing and in the trance of the connection with the public, sometimes you don't realize what goes on. And it can be a crowd of 50 people, 100 people, or 100,000 people. When you have a crowd of 60,000 people, which was the same crowd as that show, and so that show that I just show you was a show of 60,000 people. That was the number of people that were on that beach. And you see, when the barrier collapsed like this, everybody that is in the front can actually be pushed or stepped on by the people who are in the back. And the police of Praia did a great job, because as soon as it came down, they all came. You can see here, they all came and they say, stop the show. You see, to prevent people from, going. And even the cameraman, they just took me and put me back there and made sure that everything went up so we could continue the show, because the show was not even finished. We still had like half an hour of show. And then after that, when we made sure that everything was fine, we continued the show. But at that moment, you're not really asking yourself if people are fine, etc. For you, it's just like, oh, what a moment. I mean, I remember that's what I was thinking at that time. And only afterwards, when I heard that there were injuries, and listen, very light injuries. Nobody had to go to the hospital. It was more like, people would just put some alcohol and stuff, whatever. That froze my blood. I don't know if this is an expression in English, but mon sang s'est glacé. Listen, at a point I was like, oh my God, like, are the kids okay? Are the kids, there were a lot of kids in that show. I was like, is everybody okay? Are the kids okay? All these women, the parents, is everybody okay? And people told me, nah, don't worry, it's fine. Nobody had anything. It's just there was so much pressure in the front that the security barriers just fell. And then as soon as the DJ directly cut the sound and the police arrived and put everybody back up, etc. So everything was fine. But it could have been worse. Like, if somebody lost their life like that day, I think it would have changed my own life forever. Because not only you would have to face the criticism of people who would say, oh, that was reckless, etc. When listen, I don't know I didn't install the barriers. I'm just a guest in the festival, right? And you here having fun, you in the energy of the whole thing, and all of a sudden something happens. And it's not the first time it happened to me in a show. Like sometimes something goes wrong, electricity can go wrong, crowd can go crazy, fight can break out in the middle of the crowd, etc., etc. Things can happen when you do a show, and as a performer, you always feel responsible when you hear that somebody broke their leg or something happened to somebody or somebody got attacked or something, because for you, you're like, these people left their house to see me. And if I was not in town, those people would be at home, and you can start feeling guilty. And I can only imagine how. I mean, I'm not in his head, but I can imagine how Travis Scott must feel when he knows that these kids left their homes to see him perform and exchange that energy and lost their lives. It's horrible. And on top of that, you have half of the population in the US that understand that it's not his fault, it's the organization, but you have the other side, another half of the people who are putting the blame on him, on his antics, and the fact that he incites people to jump, to do riots, to jump the fences, and etc., etc. That's his whole style. And now he must feel like, oh my God, like it's my fault. And he has people blaming him, depending on, you have a lot of people they love to give lessons. They love to put the blame on people. And as the point of view of a performer who've been in this situation, not as hard, but on a lower level, I mean, no casualties. It's a horrible feeling. Trust me, it's a horrible feeling to know that the love of your life is performing. The love of your life, what makes you happy is to be on stage and sing your songs and have people receive the energy and give you the energy. And those people, they come to see you and they will never get back home. It's horrible because it kind of kills your own passion. It makes you feel like horrible, to feel that this is what I love to do, and because of the things I love to do, somebody who's my fan came to see me, and now their parents are grieving. And I think there was, I don't remember the age of everybody, but I think there were some 13 people hospitalized. The dead range from 14 to 27. Yo, this is a horrible feeling. And listen, I'm rest in peace to all the victims. It's tragic, and all my prayers to the families, and listen, prayers to Travis Scott as well, who must feel horrible. It's for me, the staff made a big mistake. They should have cut the lights off and the sound, warned the artists during the heart attacks. And I understand what you're saying, Julie, but I don't know if, so you see in my show, there was something significant. It was in front and everybody could see it. So when the barriers collapsed, you've seen like all the police arrive, right? They all arrive, and you see one of them doing like telling the DJ, cut the show. And the DJ himself is seeing what's going on. So we could cut everything. The problem is that in the Travis Scott situation, those situations are happening in the crowd. So I don't know if when you are on stage, sometimes you don't see nothing because you have the lights, you have everything. So you see the crowd, but you don't really see the crowd. So you might see somebody, just one person fainting. And when you see one person fainting and security taking them, you continue your show because you don't really understand the severity of what's going on. And I don't know if in a crowd of, so I'm gonna show you my show again. In a crowd like that, if something happens there behind in those blue umbrellas or something in there, this information might not arrive up to you. And it's up to the public. They are the only people who really can do something, which is stopping the dance and making sure those people are taken care of. But if all of them are in trance or on drugs or whatever they are just busy going crazy on the song, and the artist cannot really realize. I've been in situations where there was a fight during a show, and I would tell the DJ, cut the music, and security there because I see it, right? Or maybe I see a fight breaking up, but I see that the security is taking care of it already, so I continue the show. And I make sure that the people who are getting their attention, I pull their attention back to me. And sometimes, what's going on is too complicated and it's in the front and whatever, and you tell the DJ, hey, cut that. And you tell the security, hey, here. It just depends. But that's when you see it. It's different when you see it. But if something happened in that crowd, in the middle of it, I wouldn't know, because all I was seeing was a bunch of people jumping and a bunch of people singing, and it's loud, and you cannot hear somebody saying out there in the middle, help, or something is going on. It's really the people in the middle have to have that responsibility to make a crowd and maybe take the person who collapsed and take them to the nearest emergency place, and then emergency have to be able to respond quick and see what's going on. Maybe, I don't know, drones, whatever. But listen, on that show, if what happened like in the middle, I don't know if the show would have stopped. I have no idea. And that's where it's kind of easy to blame people. I mean, there's gonna be of course it's gonna be, we're gonna see what everybody can learn from this, and what the people who organize the show, who is to blame for the death of these kids and adults. But it also depends what kind of crowd you have, because my crowd is a crowd of people who come to listen to love songs. So they might jump on one of those songs, but usually they're more enjoying and yelling and and dancing kizomba. So it's not a show where I'm just like going crazy and I'm on drugs and everybody's on drugs. So I don't know, like a lot of these people, they go to those shows and they are in trance and they're doing pogo and etc. And I know that in the heavy metal rock and roll shows, a lot of times Some of them are when they do the pogo and somebody faints. A lot of these crowds are very disciplined, and whatever, if somebody is not feeling well, like they will take them, and somebody will make sure that there's the possibility of them going to the security or the health, and or they make them come in front, like if it happened in the front, somebody take them and they move them to the front so that they can be taken care of by the first responders. But apparently, from what people are saying, from the witness, whenever somebody was falling, people would continue jumping on them, and because everybody was in that trance and on drugs, and then I heard also that there were some people injecting drugs into people. Like, come on, like, this is crazy. Like, people are crazy. It's a show. It's supposed to be a show, and you have people, they go there to inflict harm on other people, and they think it's funny. Listen, there's a lot of crazy, sick individuals in this world, and I believe that the blame is to be shared here. Listen, we'll see what everybody learns from this, but listen, from the point of view of a performer, it's something that I wish on nobody as an artist, to know that somebody died at your show. I'm trying to remember what it was, but I remember doing a show where something like worst happened, but I don't really remember what it was. But I remember that it was not something that was really because or during the show, but I think I was somewhere in Africa, and something happened to somebody, and I heard after the show, and I was horrified, like, because you feel it. For you, it's like, oh my God, like, those people could stay at home, but they came because of me. Imagine how you would feel, Somebody left their home, their kids or their parents, and they came to have fun, and you came to give them good energy and to go crazy together, whatever. And after your show, somebody tells you, oh, 8 people died. It's the worst feeling in the world. As an artist, as a performer, it's the worst feeling in the world. You feel guilt, you feel responsibility. Listen. And I can still remember how I felt when I watched that video. When I watched that video and you see those 2 kids, the one in yellow and that one that was sitting here, when I saw the video, I was watching the video on my computer, and when I saw this, actually, I was seeing them. I was seeing the kids here, right? And you see, you have like all these kids sitting in the front, right? And of course, you have the security, you have the safety, and you had ambulances and stuff. But when I saw that, I was like, oh my God. And then at a point, you're in the middle of the thing, you're going crazy, you're going down, you don't know what's going to go on. And look, you have all these kids that are sitting on the fence. And you don't really realize. And then look, like, depending on how they sat, the good thing is they were sitting already on the other side. But imagine if they were sitting and they were between, their bodies were between. And we were there, like, making everybody jump and etc. And soon as the barrier fell, you see the kid in yellow and all the kids, they had the reflex of leaving. And most of the people, I think the people in the back didn't go in front. They didn't bomb rush the stage. They stayed in their position and everybody was laughing. So there was no pressure to the people in the front. So everybody could hold their position and everybody was still laughing. See, everybody was still laughing. And then security arrived quick. And look, we're still performing because for us, we don't realize. And then police arrived and said, cut it. And then security really took care of everything and made sure that you see, and all the kids and everybody was fine. And then they really quickly put the barriers back in place. But listen, when you think about it in retrospect, this could have been the worst day of my life. This could have been the worst day of my life because it could have ended really, really, really differently. And listen, I feel not only for the family, of course, for number one, the production, but also for the artist, for Travis Scott, who's receiving all the blame from all the lesson givers, but also himself is thinking like, yo, like, yeah, guys, it's crazy. MJ, what up, brother? I hope you're good. I received your last message, but I had to go live, so I didn't have the time to listen to it and answer, but you know I will. Yeah, listen, my condolences to all the families, you know. Thanks a lot. I'm trying to find stuff to wear. Listen, yeah. Really, it's a tragic moment for the families, for the organization, and for Travis Scott himself. And yeah, listen. I also wanted to talk to you about Facebook, but I'm gonna leave it for the next show because I want to talk to you about today's subject, which was don't complain. And I love to tell everybody about all the things that happened to me as I was moving in the business of music, and I tend to never take it as a negative moment. There's negative moments, of course, but I tend to always think about whenever somebody stole money from me, or whenever I did a failure on a project. When you release an album and it doesn't go the way you thought, you know, when you think about, like, back in the days, it's not like today's singles, but back in the days when you would release an album and it was a failure, it would kill your career. And I remember when my second album got released and I went a little too fast in terms of going from 1 to 10, and I went at 1 on the first album and 10 on the second album, when I should actually have went to 2 or 2.5 or 3, so that the people could follow me, right? And I remember exactly what was my feeling when my second album was a failure. Worldwide Chico comes out. I just sold 100,000 copies of I'm Ready. I'm sure, and everybody's sure, that we're gonna sell another 100,000 copies. We shoot an amazing music video, cost a lot of money, maybe twice the amount of the first video, blah, 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 blah. But the album is really a little more hip hop because I'm trying to do my rap album. And all the Zouk crowd that were supporting the first album, they're like, oh, that's not what we were waiting for. And they don't buy. And at the same time, the technology of burning CDs is all the rage. So 5,000 people buy the album, And instead of telling people it's a great album, go buy it, they make copies and they give it to other people. And at the same time, it's the Kaysha, Lime Warrior, etc. So my sales of albums go from 100,000 to 10% of it, or maybe even 5%. I sell 5 to 10,000 copies, and I'm shook. But so at that time, I'm younger, I'm 25, 26, I don't remember. And the only thing I'm saying to myself is, I'm pissed at everybody. I'm pissed at the record company, they don't understand, and I'm pissed at the public. I'm pissed at the public because they don't understand me. They're a bunch of pieces of shit for not liking the new album and not understanding who I am as an artist and trying to put me in a box themselves, etc., etc., etc. Because at that time, I'm just an artist. It's not my money that is invested, and it's just me and my feelings. And I was feeling like doing this, and these guys, these bastards, fans, didn't get it. And I was devastated, very angry. I left to Belgium. I stayed in Belgium for a while. I was doing shows, but less and less, things were going lower. And then, so 99, 2000, the whole 2000, I'm still performing. I'm starting to perform in Africa. So I'm doing shows, but at the same time, problems with the record company, etc., etc. And while I was in Brussels, thinking about life, around 2002, when I do the compilation Caribbean Soul, I just have a eureka moment. And I said to myself, oh, I know where I was wrong. That's really what I said to myself. I was like, yeah, I got it now. And I understood why that album was a wrong business decision. Even if as an artist, I stand by the album. But as a business person, I should have had somebody behind me to tell me, you're going too far, or yeah, great album, but remove those 5 songs and replace them with songs that look like the album before, so that the people could stick to something and buy the album. But I didn't have those business reflexes at that time. But how did I go there? And that's the most important part of the phrase, don't complain. It's not just don't complain. It's don't complain, but try to reverse engineer your mistake. Try to understand how you got there and why it didn't work. Why the people who loved your music and love you didn't support you on the second album. And try to understand as well, what are the things that are incumbent to your own mistakes, but also what are the things that you can't control. And once I understood that, I could release a lot of the frustration that I had between 99 and 2002. Because the things I could control was the music I put in there. And because I did the first album in South America, it had that South America feeling. But the second album was done in New York with a bunch of hip hop guys. And I went very New York. The album had that New York feeling. And I forgot, and I didn't do 1 or 2 songs with samples, which was the reason why I got popular. So I didn't check that box. And I didn't do enough kizomba or zouk R&B, zouk rap songs. There were some, but the album was a little too rich on that department. There was missing like those 4 or 5 songs. So I didn't check that box either. But then the things I cannot control was the internet becoming faster and CD burners becoming a thing. This I could not control. And instead of being frustrated, I just learned from it. And that's when I did my 3rd album, It's All Love, you could see that on that album. Listen, let me play you. Okay, so to give you an example, to really make you understand what I mean, I'm gonna play you I'm Ready, the album I'm Ready. So this is the first song of I'm Ready, right? For you to understand exactly how I got it, because I was listening to the 2 albums and then I was like, oh yeah, I get it now. This is the first song of I'm Ready.
I'ma call you in the morning. I'ma call you in the evening.
That's song number 1. This is song number 2.
My crew hit you with the crazy man, you will please you.
This is song number 3.
Like an everyday anniversary, no CIA, no Sean Connery, no 007.
This is song number 4.
Yeah, she had a nervous breakdown.
I knew what I gotta do. Sorry for the thing that I do to you.
Etc. etc. Number 5.
And I smile like sunny days. I got honey, say, ooh yeah, we wanna party winter or summer days, yo. I got it anyway.
So I'm Ready was an album that sounded Caribbean, it sounded zouk, it sounded African, it sounded hip hop at the same time, but it had that definitive feeling. But Worldwide Chico, first song.
Chico, young, black and guapo, young plus I got gusto, Moscow, by the rank of organized bambino, been over here, been over there, poetic, got true blue romance, I swear, y'all wanna be underground this year, can I really tell you who the...
For me, it works.
Just have a say, tell me if you're ready for my flex, on the internet,
Great song as well. But then I went...
Well, you my embassy, you don't care, we critique a dancey. That's a community, I mean a dynasty. True head without... Be your hero, we can get this.
When the stress had maybe create these ill still cage flip celebrity death match.
So it's not that the album is...
Make me wanna swear, I wanna see your secret underwear.
just come into my city.
Only damn getting cheeky, no doubt, no fear. I from the baby.
So it's not that the album is not the right album and the right songs. It's just that it was just missing 2 or 3 songs that would have put people in the mood. And maybe the 2 albums were too close from each other because there was just one year between the 2 albums. But look, this is the 3rd album. Look how I start. Of course, the first album was intro, guitars. First song. That's the first song. Second song.
My expression just a power. It's superb and supreme. Delicate and extreme. No matter.
Third song.
Soy el body. Quererte no es un dilema. Aunque sea encima de unas flores o una cama. Porque te fuiste. Volverás. Donde te irás.
Hey.
La vida.
Fifth song.
Yeah.
Numéro 1, les Benza. What? Come on, throw your hands in the air.
And
Niggas, I represent Uno. Come back, tell them niggas I'm back.
you see, like,
Tu étais toute ma vie.
and of course,
Listen, what?
so what you can see in the difference between It's All Love, Worldwide Chico, and I'm Ready is very subtle. And a lot of artists wouldn't see the difference. They would say to themselves, it's because of the fans, it's because of the record company. They don't get it. But when you listen to the three albums, they sound alike, but the first album really has this hit appeal of something that is new. The second album is more, the sound is great, the songs are great, but they're not the right songs. And when you listen to It's All Love, you understand that I got it. I understood that track 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 have to be hits and have to not even play around. And then if you go to the end of the album, that's when I have like songs that are, well, no, I have, look. And then I have
Flower and live it to the sky. They wanna stop you, you can't be out of sight.
I have songs that are the type of the second album starting in the middle of the album. And this is where I understood how I messed up. I mean, yeah, it was part of the mess up was choosing the right song for the album. There was a point where I didn't do it. And this is super important. And whenever I have conversation with artists after the success of their second album, I always tell them, listen, I had the time to reverse engineer how I mess up my release of my album. And I tell people the mistakes not to do because I made them myself. And a lot of people, like you said, a lot of people don't realize it. They true because they don't reverse engineer what happened. They don't try to understand what happened. They're just trying to shift the blame to somebody else. And it's not my fault. It's not me. It's because of record company. Record company didn't do their job, whatever. But when you think about it, you can hear the difference when one album has 2 hits from track 1 and 2, and when an album has great songs but no hits. And the difference between me of 1998, me of 1999, and me of 2003 is that in 2003 I understand what works, what is a hit, what makes the difference. And when I do those songs, I don't do those songs to play around and to just please myself. I do those songs with the idea that some of the songs will be for me and some of the songs will be for the DJs, the radios, and some of the songs are here to sell. And to me, it's called reverse engineering your mistakes or whatever happened, and understanding also the things that you cannot control, the environment. And ever since this happened, every time something doesn't go the way I want, the first thing I do is reverse engineering my mistakes, try to understand what went wrong, why did the people don't like, how, etc., etc. And a lot of people don't have this, salut Marc. A lot of people, 1 to 6. A lot of people, they don't do this, the album sequencing, choosing which song go where. So as I'm in the process of choosing the 50 songs that will go in my new album, I'm gonna take at least a whole week deciding which song will go first. It's the same thing when I do remixes, when I do album remixes. I choose always, like, I really think about which remix will go where, which one will go first, which one will go second, and which one will go last, and which one goes in the middle. And all this is super important, even in the days of today where people just listen what the algorithm give to them. You really have to understand when you do an album that the placement of the songs, whatever you say in the intro, and the intent of the album, you can hear it in the whole album, the intent. And even when I do an album with 40 songs, like African Prince, it doesn't feel like it's just I took 40 songs and I just put there. No. If you place them the right way, it will feel like a cohesive body of work. And as I'm doing a 50 song album with Bantu Royalty, and I'm already starting to work on Diaspora Deluxe, I already know which song go in this album, which song go to the next album, why, how I do it. It's super important. And it's something that you really have to think about. Your album sequencing from that third offering has been world class ever since. Oh, that's what I was saying. Exactly. It's super important to understand the strategy of everything. How you're gonna choose your delivery, how you're gonna put the song. And look, if you look at Club Shada from episode 1 till today, you will see that even here, as I'm reverse engineer everything, that when I watch an episode, I'm like, you remember when this slide was like this? It was always like this in the first episodes. And now, as you can see, I just hide it just like that to create this. Of course, I changed cameras. My angle is different. And the logos here are different. They are less obtrusive and in your face than before. And I choose to put less blocks of colors and have something that is very just white. It's just white and maybe some shades of black. But when you look at the first episode, it was more stuff. I'm trying to make it as elegant as possible and not clutter the screen with information. And there's a lot of information if you think about it. You have all the sponsors. Thank you again. Passing here, you have the stream royalty, that you have the name of the song that is playing, and then you have the logo of the show. You have my useless Japanese icons, and then you have the logo, the sponsor logo, and then you have all this in the back that is also carefully put there. You have my Ganesh, you have whatever I'm gonna drink, the iPad. All this is organized because as every time I do a show, I'm reverse engineer what happened last time. Even the microphone, I changed the settings of the microphone and how close it is to me whenever I do a show, and I realized that my guests sounded louder than me, or I didn't sound loud. All this is stuff that I think about every time, and I tweak the sound in the back, and I see if I can add a plug-in, a compressor to the microphone so I can sound louder, etc., etc. Like, I'm always trying to add to the show and make it better and better, episode after episode. And when I do albums or when I do songs, it's the same thing. Some songs will generate 10,000 streams in a week, and some other songs will generate 1,000 or 2,000. And when it happens, I try to understand what happened, why. Is it because it's a release that was done badly and whatever happened, or somebody was not ready on time and we could not really submit the song to Spotify release radar on time, etc., meaning that we botched the release? Or is it because I did a bossa nova this time and because it's bossa nova, it's not as popular as the rest and I have to make it popular? So, and I try to learn from it each time. Okay, how can I release it the next time to create that thing? How can I? And every time I do a release, I try to learn from the release. You see, Forever Young had probably your best sequencing for me. Interesting. Forever Young is my first double album. In Forever Young, actually, so Forever Young is interesting because it had the same, it became my most, in the streaming world, it became my most popular album. But when it came out as a double CD, people didn't really understand what I was doing because it had that worldwide Chico feeling, but at the same time, as I reverse engineer what happened with that album, I realized that it was not that the album was bad or the songs were not right. It's just that I made so many hits at once. In It's a Love, I had a bunch of bangers. In the album after It's a Love, African Bohemian, well, I had a bunch of hits. And in Legendary, I have a bunch of hits. And when Forever Young came out 2 years after, people were still digesting the first songs. And Forever Young is an album that created frustration again. But when I reverse engineer my frustration, I realized that it was not even my albums anymore. It was just that I already wrote my legend. I already had On Dit Quoi, that would be a song that would be a hit forever. One Love, Question My Heart, Something Going On, Fiona, 88 BPM, etc., etc. I already had so many songs that everything that I released after was competing with what I released before. So after I understood that, okay, it was time to not care anymore about if my songs would work or not, because it would not change anything in terms of revenue and in terms of who I represent for people. And it's hard for an artist when you reach that point, because you left the stratosphere, but you still want to compete, you still want to play, but you don't realize that you up there already. It's over, like you're a legend already. And you might do new songs, but it's not gonna change anything actually. Every time you're gonna do a song, they will be compared with your body of work already. So only a few songs will survive whatever you're gonna do after. And in the beginning, I was a little pissed, and then I realized it's actually an opportunity to have fun again and just make the music I like, because anyway, on shows, they're gonna ask me to sing all those songs, and I cannot really propose new songs. And then when the streaming thing arrived, I was already in that mentality of, hey, I just do music to have fun again. And sometimes there's a banger, but most of the time, sometimes it goes on top of people, and only the connoisseur will understand what I'm doing, and it's fine. So I remember, like, the first song of that album, this is the first song of that album, Forever Young.
Girl, I'm serious about this feeling. deep inside of me. Girl, I'm ready to settle down, yeah, and be the man of your life. This is love, yes I know, oh so true. You and me till the end. This is love, yes I know, oh so true. You and me till the end. Can I talk to you, girl? Yes you can. Can I kiss you right there? Yes you can. Can I make love?
Love you, not need you.
This love is me is bigger than the whole galaxy. But more de mon cœur, c'est une fleur. Be with you.
So it's very interesting that Forever Young, when it came out, it felt like a failure. It felt. But actually, I understood quickly that it had nothing to do with failure. It was actually a great album, but it was just competing with everything I did before. And all those songs, they age very well. And actually, I think if I look at, let me go to my distribution platform. Let me go to my analytics and see what are my top albums. So Kaysha. So my top albums. Oh, those are releases. Oh my god, I have so many releases. I cannot see my albums. Okay. So if you look at my top releases, all platforms, you realize that something going on because of course, Malembe. All right, but those are not albums. Those are okay. Top tracks, top releases. If you look at my top releases, you see that African Prince, Something Going On is huge, of course, but then you have African Prince as an album. So for me, it's amazing. It's like my latest album is my biggest album. I used to struggle for that. And then you have Roll Like Sushi, so that's album number 9. Roll Like Sushi is album number 8. And then you have albums, a lot of compilation. Works of Art, you see. Works of Art, which is my album number 7. And probably after that is Forever Young. Legendary. Where is Forever Young? I remember that Forever Young was big at a point, but I guess with everything that I've been releasing, Forever Young is not in that platform. Of course, I will not find it here. Maybe I have to go to Spotify for artists to see. Let me see releases. No, I'm not gonna find it like this. No, it would be on another platform that I would know. But yeah, when I reverse engineer what was frustrating me with the release of Forever Young, I realized that people were full of my songs. And that I could not only continue making quality music, but I could go back to being free as a creator to just create the things I like. As long as from time to time, track 1 to 6 continues to be a banger, you fine. And that's what I did with all my albums. And the album that is coming is the same thing. I still have 20 songs of the last 4 years. I kept 20 songs ready for the album. And then everything I released, the 30 songs that I released, that I will select, gonna do a great 50 songs album. And when people tell me, but 50 is too much, blah, 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 people, da, 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 I'm like, guys, I'm not like you, and I'm not playing in the same field as you. You guys are playing on the football field. I own the field. So I'm not playing the same game as you because I own all my music. So the more music I release, the more money I make and the more fun I have. And on Forever Young, that's what I realized. I realized that I really didn't need to do music anymore, actually. Because when you have the catalog that I had already in 2010, when I started moving to Portugal, 2010, 2011, before when I was about to move here, my catalog was already generating enough money to pay my rent, to pay my food, to pay the food and school for my children. So the fact that I just continued working just doubled that income and then tripled. So that's what I learned from not complaining. And instead of complaining, or listen, instead of being frustrated, I mean, you can be frustrated for a week. But the first thing you have to do once you're done being pissed and insulting everybody is reverse engineer how you got there. And once you understand how you got there, you can move to the next project with the knowledge of how to do things. Give me some unicorns if you like what I said while I'm responding to my best interviewer here. As a double CD, Forever Young made sense to me. It was hit after hit after hit, and it plays like a DJ mix, so you can easily listen to it on repeat. Thank you. When I did that album, the CD 2 was actually the birth of Monsieur de Shada. So it was very interesting, and then I re-released CD 2 as Baobab and Bottle of Wines, the Mr. Shada album, Monsieur de Shada, and all of this will now become Angel CD when I get to it. Off topic, I don't exactly remember where I found your channel. All that comes to my mind is the comment section of an artist that goes by the name Kenyon. Okay. Why don't you keep one style like a signature? I mean, that would be boring, I guess. But yeah, at a point, it's you recognize my color. I think it's possible to listen to you all day, not the same song. I guess you can listen to me for a whole week if you put all my songs one by one. Like, I don't know how many hours you have. You probably have like hours of music. Thank you. Well, listen, I hope you enjoyed this episode of Club Shada, and we had fun. I'm gonna get back to you Wednesday with more fun. We soon will have as guest, we will have a conversation with White Taka, which is a super producer from Kenya that lives in Chicago, I think, unless he moved. So we'll have a conversation with him. And other than that, I'm gonna leave you with you know what, somebody was talking to me about this song, and I'm gonna leave you with this song because this song is a song that is played in all the clubs in Africa, all the African clubs around the world, and nobody knows that it's my song. And this is the most fun I have. To me, like, it's like when people discover the song on YouTube and they realize it's me, they're like, what? Oh my God. And I love it. So this is Good Life 2005. Thank you to our sponsor, who is me. Thank me for sponsoring this show, shadaware.com. Don't forget to go to shadaware.com to get some very, very nice t-shirt. Thank you to all the newcomers in the channel, and I will see you when I see you. Give me some unicorns in the chat if you enjoy. Don't forget, we have Mountain of Inspiration back on YouTube. Go to his channel and watch the latest video. That's what I'm going to do now. Watch the replay of the latest episode of Dalia's show, which was great. I saw it live, but you can go watch the replay and go also to Joel Amen TV. And don't forget to also go to MJ Wemoto's channel and enjoy some great content as well. And I hope to catch you live so I can come and annoy you in the comment. And this is Good Life 2005. Peace.